Hello, happy Monday. Well, it's Monday here in Australia. Anxiety. I'm going to teach you a really, really cool technique, powerfully effective, and it's something I learned in my neuro-linguistic programming training. Now, this technique alone as a psychological way of dealing with problem thinking is brilliant. But I'm going to explain after I've explained the technique how this technique is a multidimensional in its nature and how you're affecting your spiritual, your mental, your physical bodies all at once. So what is the technique? Well, firstly, why are we anxious? Well, anxiety comes from a fear of the future. I've explained this one before, but we have a beautiful, beautiful imagination. And those with anxiety have a really, really well formed imagination. And we create a future horror story out of our concerns and worries about the future. So let's say, for example, in this scenario, that you're worried about how you're going to pay the rent next month. Let's say that you've been stepped down from your position. You are not sure where money's going to come from here on in, and you are worried you've made up this fantasy or illusion that you're not going to be able to pay the rent. Now, in our Western world, that's all fair and good. Okay, you have followed the dots of where you've been and where you're going to, and you naturally assume that you're going to have trouble. And that's why we stay in these perpetual loops of patterns of disempowering behavior and circumstances and situations, because we base the past on how the future is going to be. Okay, let's forget about that for a moment. Now, before I actually teach you the technique, you need to be able to elicit your timeline. And this is an NLP skill. To elicit your timeline, all you need to do is point to the past. Your past might be out to the side, it might be directly behind you, it might be over up there, it could be anywhere. And then I want you to point to the future. Most people want to point forward, that's fine, but your future could also be to the left or to the right or to the side or to the back, whatever it is. If you're having trouble, all I need you to do is think of a future event that hasn't passed yet. Maybe you've got a birthday coming up, and where would you point if you had to physically point somewhere? All right, so now you know where your future is and you're aware of your past, and that's your timeline. That's your neurological definition of if you had to picture a timeline of where your past and future is, you've just created that. All right, let's do the technique. Okay, you've got anxiety about paying the rent in a month. You don't know where the money's going to come from. All right, so close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, we're taking deep breaths because we're going to tell our whole physiological body that it's safe. And then you can step out of the fight, flight, freeze section of the brain, the reptilian brain, just for this exercise. Okay, very important. So a few deep breaths. Now, I want you to float above your body in your mind's eye, in your imagination, float above your body, several feet above your body. Okay, so you're floating there. You can keep your eyes closed. And now I want you to remember where your future direction is. And I want you to imagine floating towards this future. You're floating ahead in time, above, several feet above your body. So you can see your body in this room in the distance now, but looking forward. And I want you to keep traveling in the future till you can see the event where you need to pay that rent below you. And I want you to keep traveling past it at least 10 minutes. And then I want you to go down into your body of the future 10 minutes after the rent was due. And I want you to sit in that body and notice a few things, okay? This is where I need your imagination. You notice that you feel wonderful. You feel content. You feel calm. You feel joyful. You feel relaxed. You feel like it's silly, it's funny. You feel reassured and you feel aligned. And why? Well, let's now imagine the best case scenario that has eventuated with this particular concern. Okay, so you've paid the rent, but you haven't just paid the rent. You've also got extra money. You've got extra money there. And you are shaking your head like, how does this happen? And let's imagine, best case scenario, perhaps you won the money. Perhaps you were offered a job opportunity. Perhaps you sold something you didn't need. Perhaps someone wanted to gift you. Who knows? But you need to stay open to unlimited possibilities without collapsing the quantum field with that one projection of fear and worry and horror story that you've created. Collapse that as a possibility and stay open to the myriad of unlimited possibilities that are out there for you in this circumstance. And I'm going to tie this back to meditation. This is about trusting, about releasing your programming, and about surrendering. And in this moment, we're still in this moment of just, wow, I paid the rent. I've got extra money in my account. This is amazing. And I want you to just feel, taste, touch, see, hear all around you and just take it all in as if it's real. We're swimming in this dream, right? We're creating our future. And when you're happy with that and you've raised the emotions, you're feeling compassion, love, gratitude, appreciation, you're feeling all of that, then you're ready. You can then imagine yourself floating outside of that body, up, back to your timeline, above, several feet above your body. And I want you to turn to the past, and I want you to travel back until you are above the now moment right here in this room. And then I want you to float back down into your body, and you can open your eyes. First question, how does that make you feel? Now, the whole point was to deal with anxiety. Anxiety causes a lot of physiological problems, doesn't it? Just note how your body feels right now. Now, we can change so many things with the power of our thought. And this is where I'm going to explain to you how multidimensional that this little technique that I just explained is. Okay, not only are you practicing to stop worrying, you're getting out of your anxious cycles, and you're physically keeping yourself out of the fight, flight, freeze part of the brain that requires, that is there whenever we're anxious. But you're also dealing with quantum powers, your innate technology. When we create from our thoughts, from our mind's eye, we are planting seeds that create realities. Okay, so when you plant a seed, yes, you don't see what you've planted for a little while, but you planted it when you thought it. It takes time for that seed to start to sprout and come out of the ground and become material, become dense reality. Okay, so start thinking about how you want your future to be with anything that you're anxious or worried about. And you will plant the seeds of a new trajectory for you. So I hope I've given you some hope and inspiration today. Anxiety is absolutely something that you can release in your life. It doesn't need to be part of you. It's programming. So if you like any of my message today, please like, subscribe, share my videos, and I hope to talk more about this in future videos. Okay, bye.